he knew what I'm after. He said, I said, that's Ashok. He quickly said, we don't want to talk about all these things, change the subject. Because usually they don't expect anything to know these things. So the highest caste of Ashraf are Sayyid. Second highest are Sheikh. Sheikh is any Arab, not necessarily descendant from Prophet, but Arab. Then is Turkish, and then is Pashtun, the Iranians. These are the four top castes of Muslims in the Indian subcontinent, and the Ashraf are the Indians. If you want to read more about it, there's a guy called Ahmad, I forgot his first name, who wrote the Islamic caste system, the JNU professor, the Muslim life, because he was exposing all this. And he was even giving statistics that 70, 80, 90% of all the reservations for top jobs, governor and all these prestigious jobs for Muslims, have been given to the Ashraf Muslims. And the lower caste Muslims are not being given their fair share, even though they are 80, 90% of the population. They have 10, 20% of the reservations. And all these are Shabana Azmi and her husband, all these guys are big fighting human rights, they're all Ashraf. Okay. So, this is the Ashrafization of Islam in India. That is a topic which is taboo. You will not get a job if you write a PhD on this, or you go to some conference and submit a paper, they'll throw you out, they don't want to hear these things. But this is true. So, I'm not defending, we can't defend ourselves by saying everybody's got the same problem. If I have a disease, it doesn't mean that you have it to help me. We have to solve our problem. But we have to realize that human culture, human civilization is far from perfect in its ancient sense. We have to progress, advance, clean up our act. Others have to do their own cleaning up. Certainly in the Kali Yuga that we've had a society where everybody is enlightened and everybody is suffering. I mean, the whole idea is that there's tamasic people, there's rajasic people, and they all have to be helped, moved up. So, human culture and human society also reflects the different grades and different qualities of individual guna that exist. And we have our share of problems because of that, as do others. So that is this one. What was the next one?
Or the one you say sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay. We've had, the thing about Hinduism is, you will find something or other in a text or in a practice of every kind it is. In every practice that anybody has done in the world, you will find something or other in Hinduism also. And this is because Hinduism, like an encyclopedia, keeps adding new knowledge without expunging, eradicating, eliminating old knowledge. There's a difference between knowledge accumulating into encyclopedia. The first Encyclopedia Britannica in the 1700s, I wrote, was 3 volumes, and then it kept knowledge. So you add more knowledge. So this is the Hindu approach. Open architecture, like you keep adding apps on Apple, keep adding more and more apps. There's no requirement that you have to get the 10 perfect apps and eliminate all of them, the rest of them. Whereas the Western system is purgative, it is purging also. So in our system, we have no central authority that is required to purge. We believe that human consciousness at all levels, from very useless, bad, or very advanced human consciousness, because the divine has manifested and is evolving. So you will find people at all these levels. And you will find mention of all these practices, and you will probably find some weird guy somewhere doing it also. You will go to Nepal and they're doing some sacrifice, like goat sacrifice, whatever they do. So Hinduism has many, many beliefs, many, many ideas, sanctified or not sanctified, some are practiced but not very interpreted. That is very true. The situation is very different in a centrally controlled, canonized, standardized, one book, one history approach. You see, if I'm having problems in my family because I've made rules and regulations and bylaws which say this is how we will do things, I have made an official policy that that's how things are going to be, then that kind of problem as a result of that is of a certain kind. In your family, you haven't made any such thing. You give people a lot of freedom. A lot of people are doing some things, different things. And some of them are doing bad things also. You too have the problem, but I cannot say it's the same kind as mine. This is a very different problem. So that is my view on that. And the final question?
Yeah. Can a person be a Hindu while rejecting karma?
Okay. This is a very interesting question. A very interesting question. The Hinduism is basically a self-realization rather than God-realization. Therefore, when I start a discussion with people, they say, prove God. I say, I'm not even here to prove God. my starting point is not is there a God and why, which God and what, who created, could he exist and whatnot. That is the way the Abrahamic traditions start the discussion on religion. They started on God. Chapter 1 is always on God. And I start with who am I? And so I ask the person in the audience, do you have doubt that you exist? And nobody wants to doubt that he exists. So at least you got one thing going, that some kind of I exists. Question is who is this I? The only question is who is this I, but there is no doubt that there is some kind of I. So at least I have common ground with the audience when I start with self-realization, inquiry, rather than God realization, inquiry. It's very different. So when we talk about self-realization, then the discoveries made by rishis who attempted different techniques of meditation. Some did neti, they argued and reasoned, this is not that. Some did, vipassana, some did tantra, some did whatever. The various systems of meditation were experimented. The way scientists in the laboratory experiment different things, and then what they discover they share with other scientists, and he tries it also, and if he validates it, he also likes it, and then it keeps getting transmitted to the next generation. And whatever doesn't work, people go reject it or abandon it and try something else. So this way, experiential, experimental self-discovery is the quintessential Hinduism. What you discover is valid as your truth. If you discover a way of higher consciousness, whether it is taught by somebody to you or you just discover it yourself, and that gives you anand, and you get that feeling of Satchitanand, then whether you believe in X or not believe in X makes no difference. So you do not have to believe in anything. If you can practice a path of self-enlightenment, for which there is Raj Yoga, which actually says that all texts, all beliefs, all ideas, all philosophies are provisional and only are put up to a point. You can believe them, you can use them like a raft to climb to cross the river, then you abandon it and won't go beyond, and you don't carry that raft on your head after you cross the river. So you have to abandon all these ideas, all the concepts, these ideas that we talking about are provisional, they get you past the stage. If you don't need that, you don't have to have it. So our faith even gives you that much individual freedom, that there is no belief that you must hang on to. Your idea in this world is achieve a state of higher being, higher consciousness, however it works for you. Now these ideas work for a lot of people. It guides them in the right way. It avoids them certain problems. It gives them a certain sense of coherence about the world. It gives them a sense of explanation and logic to the world, and it works for them. But many rishis did not have any such starting assumption or axiom, and they did just fine. So Hinduism does not box you into even these articles.
What makes one to be a philanthropist or as a cultivation? Is it religion? I'm Prabhu Garvas. My question is, what makes one to be philanthropic inclination? Is it faith, religion, Dharma, or something else?
Well, you have to ask each philanthropist. So you have to ask Bill Gates why he's a philanthropist, or you ask whoever you want to ask. I can only talk about myself. I don't see myself as a philanthropist. I see myself as doing my Dharma, which is to serve my tradition, which is a tree that gave fruit, and I want to return. So I am not helping you or helping anybody, but my own self. And I don't want to be seen as somebody who's sort of a nice guy that will help others. Actually, I'm helping myself. By doing this, by doing whatever I do, I get satisfaction. I hope to become a better person. I hope to become a better informed person. I hope to do some good to the bigger cause of my Dharma, which I feel is a great asset that humanity has, great potential for all human beings, not just people of our particular tradition. So, I am doing good if I'm trying to do good to preserve and propagate and interpret and explain my Dharma. That is my calling, and I do it for myself. And if it benefits others, that's fantastic, but it certainly benefits me. Because I become hopefully a better person, better knowledgeable person, greater clarity. And so, in a sense, whether this produces any outcome for others, whether it changes anybody else or not, I still feel that I've succeeded if I got clarity. And people ask me these very stereotype questions. The publisher wants to know who is your target reader. And then they lock you into a table of contents. Then you have to say, okay, so many pages for this chapter, so many that, and you're producing that. I can't do that. For me, I get up early morning and I have an inspired writing output. I have an inspired, I don't know from where it comes, but it's inspired. I can produce from 10 pages to 30 pages in one day, uninterrupted, just bang, bang, bang out. It comes from somewhere. Now, this output, inspired, intuitive kind of output, is to be honest, and I only answer this to certain audiences because they understand it. I don't answer this to publisher because they won't understand it. But the honest answer is that the audience I'm writing for is myself. It's very strange. I'm really searching the answer for my own benefit. It's like some musicians say that I really compose music to feel good for myself, and then I can play for others also if they want to hear. But I'm singing a song which means a lot to me. It's my own song, and then I play it. So in the same sense, mine is a discovery for truth that will help me as a person. And I'm very keen to understand things and have a lot more things to discover. So I'm actually on a journey of self-discovery and my own Dharma. And others may see it as philanthropy. Others may see that, he's trying to help others and maybe good at it or maybe no good at it. It really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. And because I get a lot of satisfaction, I'd rather be doing this than anything else. It's the latest gift I got when I met my guru, and that changed my life. And then I realized the futility of all the running around and all the useless things I was doing previously, which is also part of the journey, which I'm happy I did those things and I'm out of it. I've transcended that. And so, this is my answer, and you have to ask every person why they are doing what they're doing.
True statement.